recording is to answer 4 questions in my Sociology 110 class. First question is, society has changed over the past decade from style to language and even our environmental resources. Give an example of how social change has affected physical environment, population, innovation, diffusion, and mass media. Among numerous social changes, urbanization stands as one of the most significant changes. Throughout the whole world, there is a rapid growth of urbanization. It has a significant effect on people's environmental, social, cultural, and economic life. The effect of urbanization in the physical environment means the destruction of the nature and development of artificial infrastructure. Roads, buildings, offices, parks, resorts are built there. A new industry is built. There is no land for cultivation in the urban areas. Urbanization is the spread of commercial places, markets, trade, and businesses. The spread of urbanization gives birth to environmental pollution. Urban people are victims of many dangerous diseases due to pollution. Besides corruption, the effect of global warming, insecurity, accidents appear significantly in the urban area. The effect of urbanization on population means that the population density is more significant in urban areas than in rural areas. In addition, as there are many facilities and sources of multiple works, people live there. At the same time, public health in urban areas is very poor. As a result, slum areas appear in urban areas. People are deprived of pure water and fresh breath. Innovation is the development of urban areas. Many innovative ways are taken. There are developed drainage system, electric supply, and water supply are provided with advanced technology. At the same time, many scientific methods are taken to preserve nature. Diffusion. In urban areas, people are more aware of various problems and are more educated. The rate of education in urban areas is more than in rural areas. People are culturally developed. They are socially and politically aware of various problems due to the spread of urbanization. People are more aware of their rights. Therefore, violation of rights faces protests from them. Mass media is the spread of mass in ordinary people results from the growth of urbanization. It makes people aware of their rights. Mass media are the strong pillars of democracy. Newspaper, electronic media, Facebook, Twitter, etc. is used extensively in the urban areas. They have become an integral part of the daily life of the urban people. The second question, the information revolution was and still is an important perspective in social change. In your opinion, how has it changed society and how do you feel it would change society in the future? Well, it can actually be mentioned that the information revolution is nothing but the social, economic, and technological changes that have evolved over time after the Industrial Revolution. In this regard, it can be mentioned that the high level of advances in the world needs things a lot easier. This improves the productivity levels of each and every country. As a result of this, the levels of poverty across the globe has been reducing, and this is necessary for various nations because they were all drowning in poverty during the time of Industrial Revolution. But this has made countries, especially the third world countries and African countries, to develop so that the world has become a more competitive and better living place. Therefore, in the future, the competition levels for the information revolution can increase to a greater extent so that every country will go hand in hand for the development with which sustainable development can take place. Third question, how has modernization changed many underdeveloped nations? Modernization has brought a drastic change in an underdeveloped economy. It has helped change people's thoughts and argues that there are various cultural and economic barriers that become a hurdle for traditional economy to develop in underdeveloped countries. With the help of modernization, the underdeveloped economy has changed a lot and taken steps towards globalization and adopting Western culture. There are various steps which modernization has been taken to change underdeveloped countries, and the following steps of economic growth are: modernization resulted in removing cultural barriers and fault of being backward as well as outdated. It has helped in adopting Western culture and new ways of living. freedom of thinking and removing religious beliefs from the mind of people. Modernization also resulted in removing economic barriers such as lack of infrastructure, lack of technology, lack of skill available in workforce. It also injects education, training, and providing proper facilities to take part in development. Modernization resulted in globalization of economy, which means the whole country comes under the same roof. Modernization prepared a path for underdeveloped countries to take and participate logically as well as systematically. Thus, modernization eliminates cultural and economic barriers and provides a proper path for developing the economy. Last question. What are the types of social movements that have occurred in history? When and why did they occur? The types of social movement are movement of reform. One of the most popular and significant forms of social revolutions is the reform movement that aims to alter a specific part of the nation's government, economic or social structures, but is restricted. It does not try but seeks to change circumstances inside the current system to overthrow the present one. Reform efforts have become one of the most significant progressive movements in American history. The Women's Vote campaign that accompanied a civil war, the labor movement, the Civil Rights South movement, the anti-war movement of the Vietnamese period, the women's movement of the present day, the transgender movement for the rights of men, and the climate movement comprised the abolitionist movement before the Civil War. Revolutionary movement is a significant step forward from a democratic campaign that has overturned the current government and put in a fresh, much new way of living, a progressive movement. Revolutionary movements were widespread and were reliable in Russia, China, and several other nations for the world's great revolutions. Reform and progressive campaigns are also called protest movements because they want to reform politically. There is also reactionary movement, which is another form of political action called because it aims to obstruct progressive reforms or undo already achieved social changes. The campaign toward abortion is a modern example of a reactionary movement. The Supreme Court of the United States allowed the bulk of abortions in Roe v. Wade in 1973. Self-help campaigns and religious movements are two other examples of movements. Self-help movements include members who aim to change face of their lives. Narcotics Anonymous and Weight Watchers include self-help organization. Religious movements seek to strengthen their followers' religious convictions and transform others into these beliefs. Thank you.